Hello, everyone. So today I wanted to drop a video on, it's another opinion video like they all are. I'm not a researcher or anything like that. So everything is based on my observations, and this is really no exception. This is some of my figures. I'm gonna basically I picked off 10 from the shelf that after some thought, that's what I throw into the category of most underrated action figures in my collection. It's not to say of all time because I probably don't have them, but in my collection, which is, I don't know, probably running 300 or so strong, all on display. At least this is my opinion. So I guess it's somewhat formulated, in fact, but mainly opinion. So we'll start with this one. This is an honorable mention. How underrated she is I don't really even know her name. I have the box around here somewhere, but in fact, I just didn't care because it was a female Mandalorian. Now, I didn't know that the mask, which comes inside the package, actually goes on the figure pretty well, in fact. As you see, yeah, jeez, it's been stuck there for a little while now. And so let me go ahead and pull it off without popping the head here. But it's designed for it. She's pretty awesome looking without the Mandalorian mask, which is in and of itself sweet. I don't know who she is, and maybe she isn't underrated. Maybe she's highly sought after. But I haven't seen any figure reviews on her. I haven't seen her really featured in too many pictures, etc. So, she just made the initial list. It's probably on the outside looking in, barely, and it's really just, again, based on my observations. These are removable, very functional. She's got great articulation, a great look. And again, the Mandalorian mask does go on, and it does not hinder function at all. Yeah, again, don't even know her name, but the female Mandalorian, good enough for me. So she's honorable mention. Jumping into the top 10, the first one might be a bit of a surprise, but just my opinion. The Caliban Build-A-Figure. Put him on the turntable. So, a Build-A-Figure, how can it be overrated? Well, again, this is just my opinion based on my observations, and I hardly ever see this guy featured in anything. The few reviews that I looked at, maybe prior to getting him, I think in a trade, they weren't crazy about him. A lot of comparisons to what he's quote unquote supposed to look like, this and that. And I look at this dude and I'm like, wow, that's a badass looking figure. Those hands are sweet. The head sculpt is tight. The articulation on him is really, really good. The size is intimidating. He flashes real nice on the shelf because of the paint job. He's real stable. Yeah, Caliban. I don't know why more people don't seem to like him. He's not really not great in the shot right there, but just a really good action figure. So somebody I just picked out, my opinion. Moving on. This one is overrated for the fact that I never see anybody with it. This is a Jax UFC action figure. What makes it underrated? Well, the fact that I hardly ever see anyone with him. The fact that I picked this guy up, for like a song. I think I got him, him and like 8 other ones for like $70 in value, something like that. And so I don't know why, because you look at the articulation on these guys and they are spectacular. Um, as you would expect fighting figures to be, right? Well, they're that. Um, I feature these guys quite a bit in different pictures. I've got them in a nice feature setup in my collection, and I don't know why they're not more popular. I know UFC in and of itself is popular as hell, but these figures I don't see much of. I mean, they're great in grappling positions, great in striking positions. Perhaps it's the size, but now with McFarlane stepping up to 7 plus, We got the selects. There's plenty you can mesh with this guy. Some storm collectibles as well. So there's no reason to not get these, but yet I don't see a whole lot of people getting them, and they don't seem to go up in value. But if you can get a mess of these, do it. They're awesome. I mean, they're simply awesome. Can't say enough about them. This one particularly is Anderson Silva. Next up on the list. Now the reason for this is this. So this is the Darth Vader 40th anniversary Star Wars Black Series. You're like, how in the hell can that be overrated? That thing is awesome. And I agree. It's awesome. But here's the reason it's overrated. Pardon some of the dust and, some of the other stuff going on here. But, yeah, these things happen. At any rate, how can it be overrated? Well, here's why. I was at a toy show, and I picked up a bunch of other stuff. And the guy owed me $10 in change, but he didn't have a $10 bill. And instead he handed me this big, ugly-ass box. Because I said, you got a Darth Vader or anything like that. Like a $10 Vader, I was thinking. Maybe a little waste, but it's better than not getting my change back. And he handed me this big, ugly behemoth box. And I looked in there, and I see the Vader not well packaged inside a very big, bulky, not presented well packaged, the 40th anniversary. I asked him, okay, well, yeah, I'll do that. Is the Vader articulated? Not really caring too much. And he's like, it's the same one that everybody's paying X amount of dollars for. They just don't like this packaging. So if I can get a Vader this quality at $10, I'm calling it underrated. He's incredible. Got everything you need, all the articulation. He's got the look. Can't say enough about this guy. Underrated in my book, and that's the reason why. The next one I'm going to call underrated is Predator. This is the NECA Dutch from the Predator collection. I'm just going to shut up for a minute. Just take a look. So this is NECA, right? You're going to get all of the NECA benefits, but for some reason, the Predators themselves were the highly desirable ones, the ones you see in cases, etc. You hardly ever see Dutch in people's, feature pictures, etc. I don't know why. This thing is friggin' awesome. I mean, they nailed Arnold. All of those things are removable. They come with great accessories, fantastic look, great feel, decent articulation. NECA's got its drawbacks, but as far as posability, I mean, it's not like Arnold was out there doing the splits. Dude was buff. So he'll do all of those things, no problem at all. What the issue is with this guy in other people's eyes, I have no idea. But this guy's freaking awesome. Awesome. Can't say enough about him. NECA's Dutch. The next one could be also a surprise to people given its price point, but this is a Storm Collectibles. I believe his name is Marcus, from Gears of War, I think is the collection. So what makes it underrated? Well, I don't see a whole lot of people with this thing, and certainly don't see a whole lot of pictures. Now, if you're not familiar with Storm Collectibles, that's mainly the reason that I picked it up, and let the curiosity get the better of me, and I'm so glad I did. Storm Collectibles are really, really incredible figures. They make a lot of Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, etc. And so I kind of knew what I was getting. And then you include all the accessories, the articulation, the look, the different heads. This is a magnetic gun, for instance. I've never seen that on another figure. That is an awesome little inclusion. Don't know anything about Gears of War, never played the game at all. But this guy deserved a feature spot in my collection, and he got it because he's awesome. The price point on these, I think, were originally, I don't know, $60 or something like that. Maybe they've gone up. I think they've gone down. Because, again, I see them, and I'm thinking, why don't more people have them? Maybe because they don't know, but this is one of those figures that, man, if you don't mind spending just a little bit more, basically about the price of maybe 2 Legends these days, instead of picking up 2 during one of your trip, pick up one of these guys and you will not be sorry. The things I've kind of featured him as, like a sort of a time cop, bounty hunter, all kinds of different things, and just badass. Couldn't say enough about him. Pick it up. Next on the list, and I kind of know why this one is underrated. I'm not gonna try to harp on it too much, but basically things got political around the movie itself, right? So this is Captain Marvel. This is an excellent figure. It's also an excellent character with a great backstory. Maybe not one of the most celebrated figures in Marvel's history, and I don't know why, but certainly the way that they featured her in the movies both helped and hurt, because for some reason or another, some right wing influencer out there decided that what she had to say about the movie A Wrinkle in Time, and how she wanted a little bit more diversity around some of the critics, was this horrible thing about men, and you can't say that, and you know how things are. Once they get political, it doesn't mean that it's got to make sense one way or the other, but people feel one way or another about it. And this figure got trapped in the middle. You might even say the movie itself, although it did over $1 billion, it could have done even more, because people are we're tribal, and things don't make a lot of sense. But once they are set in our minds, they're just sort of that way. The figure fell victim to it, and there's no reason for it, because it's an awesome figure, a great concept. The execution on it was really good, actually. Yeah, I've liked this since it first came out. I tried to ignore a lot of the politics around the movie, although not successfully. But it was good. And then when I boil it down to the figure, the figure itself has got a great look. It's got good articulation. I mean, it's an Apex figure within the MCU, so there was no way I was going to miss out on it. But I hardly see anyone, featuring this at all, and I think it's based primarily in politics, and it's a little sad. So that's why I think this one is underrated. The next one on my list, this is another interesting one. People might not know too much about it, but you might know everything about it. This is the McFarlane Harry Potter. Sorry for the miscellaneous cat hairs. Black, man, it picks up everything. This is Voldemort. Yeah, great figure. Can't say enough about this. Here, let me spin it around a little bit faster and you'll know why I'm talking about it. So the actor itself, the look, they nailed it. He's got great articulation too. Underneath this, which is cloth goods, it's very articulated. It's got a good feel to it. His feet are a little weird, so he doesn't stand great all the time. I know there's people that have a problem with cloth goods. These are separated by this, so he's actually got a black suit underneath of it. So those cloth goods are actually removable and usable for something else if you'd like, but I'm sure he would look pretty freaking weird without this cloth. But the cloth itself is pretty cool, the way it fits, the way it hangs. Got the wand. Even if you're not featuring Harry Potter in your collection, and not a whole lot of people are, you're looking for bad dudes, evil guys, yeah, this guy will fit the bill. Voldemort. Next up on the list, could be a surprise to some folks, but it's not to me. This wasn't the first one I've picked up, and it probably won't be the last. This is a Fortnite figure. This one in particular, I believe, is called Inferno. Now, I could have picked him, or I could have picked Wild Card, which is white, and it's got changeable faces. But the point is, the articulation on these things are really good. Some of the looks are unique, and they fit in different places. Now, I don't play Fortnite. Never played Fortnite. Don't know jack about it. Don't care about the backpacks. Don't care about the objective or anything else. But look at that. That guy fits into my Marvel hell real nice. Love what they did with that head sculpt. Let me give you a closer look at it, see what I'm talking about. So it looks like it's almost being blown apart by fire there, with the fire underneath of the mask. And then again, it's like being blown apart by fire. Really great look. Comes with some guns as well. The reason I like these is the smaller Jazzware ones. I think that's who makes those. There's two companies that make them. There's Jazzwares and somebody else, and I'm probably confusing them. There's a McFarlane, that's this one, and there's the Jazzwares. The Jazzwares ones I'm a little bit more fond of, only because they have the articulated hands, but the articulation on these are very, very nice. No complaints at all, and they got great looks, and they fit in a lot of different places. Even if you don't want to feature a Fortnite display, such as myself, and because I don't, I put these figures kind of where they make sense. So I pick up the ones I like. I don't know anything about their story, and further, I don't care. I'm looking for cool action figures that I can fit into my different displays, and this guy works, and several others work. I probably have a dozen or more Fortnite figures at this point. The next one, and people will probably disagree with me because, well, that's pretty common these days, but I don't care. Shanky. Some people might say, well, how the hell can it be, underrated? I know a lot of people that are crazy about this thing, and I agree. There's a lot of people that are crazy about it, but by and large, this is going at discount prices. It's sitting on pegs now, and I don't know why. So I'm calling it underrated. Yeah, he's got a great look. The few drawbacks that he does have, I couldn't care less about. His posability is really, really nice. Yeah, great figure. I'm guessing it's based on, the lack of understanding of who it is. People, I don't do kung fu in my displays. Yeah, and a lot of people don't. But once this movie comes out, I'm guessing that this is going to be a very highly desirable figure, and they hit it really well coming right out of the gate. So they don't think they need to do a reissue, even though they probably would in connection with a movie, a different version. But as far as coming out of the gate with a figure, bang, they nailed it. Big fan of this one. Comes with tons of different hands, some cool accessories. Yeah, great look. Highly recommend it. Don't know why more people haven't picked it up. Just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. So, Shang-Chi. And now, last but not least, this is Ripclaw. Yeah, so this is part of the Legendary series, or the Legendary Heroes series, of that weird period where Toy Biz sort of was owned by Hasbro and lost the Marvel license, so they were doing non-Marvel heroes and creating figures out of them. It created two of the most iconic Build-A-Figures out there in Pit and Monkey Man. And Ripclaw here, I believe, was part of the Monkey Man set. And so why do I consider him probably the most underrated figure in my collection? I'll show you why. First of all, you get a good look at him. He's got a really, really great look, and it's the articulation that I think that sets him apart a little bit. For a smaller figure, all of his hands are articulated, both individually as well as they'll move individually and then they'll stick together as a pair as well. Great articulation in the shoulders, like ridiculously good. Great elbows, wrists. Like I said, I already pointed out the hands. These are really nice. The way that they move with the figure. They don't really hinder articulation. In fact, it sort of allows you to mimic movement really well with them. The headpiece also moves. Good articulation in the neck, chest, legs. I mean, I know Hasbro went downhill from this sort of quality And what, in a lot of people's mind, it almost killed Legends for some people. Why they didn't go this way, I don't know. Imagine where action figures would be if this was their base standard at that point, instead of sort of going the direction they did and then building from there. It seemed to me like they already had the tooling, the knowledge, the design capabilities, etc., to make really great action figures right out of the gate, instead of going backwards. But business is business, and this is my number one because spectacular look. Not a whole lot of people own him or even know who he is. I don't know his story and couldn't care less. He's an awesome, awesome action figure. Yeah, and he's my number one, Ripclaw, most underrated action figure in my collection. I'm sure everybody's got some opinions out there, so I wouldn't mind hearing them. Let me know what you think. All right, thanks.